Hello. Today, we are going to explore the fundamental aspects of nonviolent communication, otherwise known as NVC. This is a powerful tool for enhancing our empathy and understanding during our interactions. Let's embark on this journey to better communication. We'll be exploring the four core principles to a nonviolent communication practice: observation, feelings, needs, and requests. Starting with our first principle, observation. In nonviolent communication, observation involves witnessing events and behaviors without attaching judgments or evaluations. Imagine yourself as a video camera, simply capturing the facts of what happened. Okay, now that we've talked about observations, let's talk about our feelings. So we were able to see, like a video camera, we either heard or saw, and now let's say how that made us feel. So it either made us feel a negative emotion or a positive emotion or a mix of negative and positive emotions. So when we talk about negative and positive, it's going to be important for you to develop a vocabulary for your emotions. So your various emotional states, being able to label them. Labeling them as a negative emotion is just to let you know that there's a need of yours that is not being met. And when you label them as a positive emotion, that means that that is a need that is being met, like it indicates a need is being met. Then what we want to do is, once we've named what the emotion is, what's going on for us, we want to be able to express that to other people. Now, when we do this, we want to express it in a way that doesn't assign any blame or judgment. So we're not saying anyone caused us or made us. Like, you're not going to say, you made me feel sad when this happened, or even when this happened, our observation made me feel sad. It's I felt sad, or this happened and I felt sad, right? So it's like an observation. Okay, so just like how in observation you're trying to be a neutral observer of the stimuli, in feelings you're trying to be just an observer of what the emotion is. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about feelings, and we said that feelings point to needs. Positive point to the fact that needs are being met, and negative points to the fact that needs are not being met. So just like how we have to develop a vocabulary of our emotional states, we need to develop a vocabulary of needs. And there is often a list of different needs that uh, people recognize in themselves, and that can help you recognize those needs. One of the important pieces of needs that distinguishes them from strategies is that they are something that everybody identifies with. They're universal. So my strategy might be to live in a uh, clean apartment because that connects to my need for harmony and order. Now, somebody else's need for harmony and order might be met by a different strategy. They might not want to live in a clean apartment. They might want to live in a RV in the wilderness, because people have different preferences. So your preferences and your strategies are going to be unique, but your needs are going to be universal. So it's something that when you hear it, you pretty much want people to have their needs met. Okay, so now that we have observed what happened, how we felt about it, and the need that that feeling pointed to, it leads us to requests. So in requests, we can request people to keep doing what they're doing if it's meeting our needs. We can request people to stop doing something if it's not meeting our needs. And finally, we can request that somebody starts doing something that would better meet our needs. Now, with the stop is we want to be careful when somebody is doing something that is not meeting our needs, because if we use stop language, often it will be harder for somebody to do the action that we want them to do. So if we can use stop doing this, we want to tie it with a start doing something else. Now, the major difference between requests and demands is how we respond to a no. So when we make a request, what we're doing is we're giving the gift of the opportunity for somebody to positively contribute to our needs being met. And if somebody says no to that, we accept that. Maybe we mourn a little bit because maybe our request was our main preference for how to have our needs met. But we understand and honor that person's autonomy and come up with a different strategy to meet our needs, because we know that no matter what our preference is to get our needs met, there are multiple ways to have our needs met. Whereas in a demand, if somebody says no, we seek to punish them because we want to use coercive force, use violence to have them acquiesce to our demand. We want them to do the thing that we think would best meet our needs, and we're willing to try to force them to do that. Hey, this is a new process for communication, and it will require a lot of practice. When we are new to the process, we might feel mechanical and natural using it, but stick with it, and the longer you practice, you'll become more competent, and that clunky version will give rise to a dancing version, where you have integrated NVC core principles into your natural lexicon and into your unique speaking voice. Okay, here's the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on before we go away and you watch another video about nonviolent communication and being able to resolve conflicts using collaborative instead of adversarial methods. I just wanted to talk about kind of a fun way to think about NVC is understanding giraffe versus jackal language. Okay, so our social conditioning is that of jackal language, and we're developing fluency in giraffe. Giraffe is the metaphor when we use life-serving language, a language of connection and collaboration. And jackal is the metaphor when we use life-alienating language, a language of domination. Now, the more fluent we become in giraffe, we can actually train ourselves to do live translations from jackal into giraffe. So even if somebody is using a language of domination, we're able to hear the requests, the needs, the feelings, and the observations behind whatever words they chose to use. And as we develop our capacity to speak in giraffe, we're going to remember that a lot of the people we're going to be interacting with aren't fluid in giraffe. They have not a lot of prior experience with it. So they're going to be trying to understand you, but they're going to be hearing it in jackal. So they'll be doing the reverse. They'll be translating your best attempts at giraffe into jackal. And in those cases, we're just going to continue to be really patient, and we're going to hear their mistranslations as a strategy of using the language that they've always used to best meet their needs. So we're going to try to be patient and stick with our process and recognize that just as it took time for us to learn to speak in giraffe, it's going to take time for people to be able to hear and understand giraffe. So that's the conclusion of this short introduction to NVC. I hope you found value in it. If you did, make sure to check out the other videos, or you can reach out to me directly either through my social medias, in the comments, or via email. If you are somebody who got this from an email, you can reply to that email and get in contact with me.